Here is my vector pictograph. Alright, so I've done this with emoji, but vector graphics are really common too, and they're nice 3D artwork or illustrated artwork that a graphic designer artist spent a lot of time doing that you can just copy and paste and use in your design or work. So I was inspired, this is 2010, so 15 years ago by this column graph. And this one's extra cool because the pencil erasers and tips stay the same size, but the length of the pencils change, which is like stretched out. So pretty cool effect they did here. But the point of this is that it's a chart about elementary school class size. And when you think of elementary school, you think of pencils and paper in the background. So I did mine kind of like a marketing research survey asking what your favorite sport is, people what their favorite sport is, and the font here is like a sports college-y font, and you can see that clearly soccer is the favorite sport. So all right, so let's get going. And then in the background there's some grass astroturf. So first you need to get a vector graphics set. All right, and so I did this with Adobe stock, and so because the browser knows what Google account you're logged in with, you have to be a little careful. So I logged in with a different browser through Sonoma State to make sure I was logged in with my Sonoma account, so that I'd have access to the Adobe stock stuff for free. So if I click on here and search under apps, I can click through to Adobe stock. There it is. You can also go straight to Adobe stock, and if you're logged in with your sonoma.edu or your access to Adobe stock already, right? Basically this little pipe wedge looking thing has my Sonoma account with it. And so from here I can come in and search for realistic sports balls set, or I think it's like an icon set. Right, and so from here the little filters, and then vectors and relevance downloads, I guess, gave me some better results. So just make sure you're logged in, and then I got this one over here, so if you click on it you hopefully can download it, re-download for free, right? And then you want vector graphics AIEPS SVG, and then you should be able to just download it to your desktop. But if you can't get this one, I mean, you can search for whatever kind of, I don't know, set of vector graphics that you want. And that's why when I was back here, I was logged into to FreePick, and I did the same search. I was logged in with my Gmail, and I searched freepick.com for realistic sport balls set, and then sorted by vectors, and I got all these. And so they're pretty much the same, right? So you just hit download. Sometimes they try to get you to go premium, like some of these have crowns on them that are only premium. But should be able to get some kind of vector graphic to use as a starting point to put in your chart, your pictograph. All right, so here's the one, keep both, from FreePick. And if I go back to my downloads folder, I should have the Adobe stock file to place on my desktop. All right, so the easiest way to do this was with Illustrator. All right, so I went to Finder Applications and opened Illustrator. I tried Illustrator online and Photoshop online, their web versions, and it didn't work. So Applications, Illustrator, open it up, and then it goes on your toolbar, and you should be able to drag and drop onto the toolbar there. hit Command 0 to fit visible in window at 100%. And then here on the right hand side, I'm going to twirl down that menu expander. And then all you have to do is click on the little circle, which they call the meatball, and copy and paste. So let's see, you can kind of see this, I think it's the base, no, that's the volleyball. Baseball's at the top. So edit copy, Command C. And then if you go back over to Canva, you should be able to create a new document and Command V, paste in your baseball and move it off to the side. So let's grab 4 of those sports balls. Tennis, Command C, Canva, Command V. And so you can look at them and kind of look at all the layers associated with them and all the work that a graphic artist did to put these together. And they look cool, nice highlights. And so vectors refer to the points and paths associated with these graphics, and if you expand them, they stay crisp or shiny, and they don't have artifacting or upsample quality degrading issues, so you can blow them up really big easily. All right, so or scale them, I guess it's a better word for than blowing up. All right, so Command V. And here's the basketball, Command C. And go over Command V. So I got my 4. All right, so I did this with the other icon set from FreePic and had a little trouble because the graphics were such small size. And so you really just want to work quick, right? So if I drag this EPS onto Illustrator, right? They're kind of the same where they're in these layered groups. And so here's the soccer ball. But, you know, Command 0, even though they look big, I think they're kind of small pixel dimensions or resolution. So if you click on one and copy it, right, and try to bring it in, Command V, it looks kind of grainy, right? So what I had to do, the quickest, easiest way to get it to work was do File, Export Selection, and then I made sure I did like 4x. So Export Assets. One more step, but right, then you have this 4x, and you can drag that onto your desktop or over into Canva. So Vecorpea didn't work for me. You can mess around with Vecorpea. It just was frustrating for me and a waste of time. So right, that should look better. You know, the other way was you'd have to like put all these graphics on independent layers and scale them. So I don't know. The point of doing this is kind of working quick with graphics, and if you try to start put all these layers into their own artboard, and scaling them up, then it's gonna be kind of slow going. But the final result, you're gonna scale these graphics into, you know, kind of small resolution on screen anyways. Okay, so hopefully that is helpful. Hopefully you get something you like. If you don't have Illustrator, you could try Photopea, and you're just gonna have to kind of crop them, I think, to get them right. So you put it works in Photopea, and if you bring up crop, you'll have to do crop 4 times and then kind of crop a soccer ball, except it still doesn't give you the best results because you're gonna, I don't know, right? So then you'd have to eyeball off. So you can kind of get them, but you still have like that shadow layer. So now I'm in soccer. I don't even know which one this is here towards the bottom. Yeah, I don't know. So you'd have to twirl down these layered groups and find where that shadow is and get rid of it too. So not so quick and easy, but so hopefully you can use Illustrator and just copy and paste like I did, and you don't have to do much resizing with your graphics. So I guess welcome to the world of working with vector graphics. So all right, so I got something in the works. I'm gonna keep going. Let me draw my axes on the right half and then resize these graphics. So okay, so I want to go to elements and create the axes. Maybe move it over, make it about the size from the center to the title safe, action safe guide, and then duplicate it and rotate it. So duplicate and then rotate. Make sure I get perfect 90, 86, 87, 88. Let go. And now I can drag this one kind of down, this one over. And I'm going to worry about this joint here later. So let's move the tennis ball in, and I'm going to align it to the axes and then resize it here and look for about 200 pixels work for me. It just depends how many of these you want to stack on each other. So there's 200. Then I'm going to get the baseball so it snaps to the left of the tennis ball in the bottom axis. And then I'm gonna resize it to as close to 200 as I can until I get that smart guide that says you're in alignment at 196. And let's see, let's get the soccer ball, let's get the basketball and tennis ball. Base plan. Command minus a couple times, no, just once. It helps if you zoom in too, you get, I think, better results, 200, there we go. So if you're not getting your exact, there we go, 200. All right, so then I am going to click on the baseball and option drag a copy up, and be careful that there's no spacing in between. And then grab the basketball and option drag up once, option drag up twice, and get the soccer ball and option drag, no padding, option drag, no padding, option drag. What's that, 2 inches? So right, so I'm gonna do Command Z, option drag this one. No. See, sometimes it helps if you zoom in a little. Option drag up. There we go. All right, so now Command minus. Okay, let's see, I'm gonna group them. So Command or just marquee drag and group, marquee drag and group, and marquee drag and group. And now I can like move this group over so it's like right at the edge, the axis, and I can shift these other. I'm gonna grab these two groups right now and just kind of put them in the middle, but I don't like the tennis ball right on the axis there, so let's leave a little extra room. Now I can grab all marquee drag and select all 4 of them and go to dot 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 or right click and space evenly horizontal, and it just adds a hair of padding, I guess you could call it, or spacing. It distributes them evenly. Okay, let's add a title. So I've been having the best results with the apps for text effects, and then right arrow like 10 times and do text styling. Looks like this one's premium. You could try these other, but Text Studio seems popular and works. And mine like is sports theme, so I'm gonna type in sports, and I get some of these texts. And this college one isn't premium, so I'm gonna grab it and drag it over or click on it. And then favorite sport, I already edited the type here, but you can edit your type in this text field. And what other setting? Yeah, you can space them out if you think it's more legible, if you add a little bit of extra letter spacing. Add to design and kind of center it there, and then option drag it out. And the red is a little, I don't know, attracts too much attention. It's kind of almost hard to read, so I ended up changing it to something a little more neutral, a gray with that color changer color. And I just don't like the axes. Let's do our final change with a photo of the astroturf or grass in the background, like a field. So elements, photos, and grass field. Just something kind of like a texture in the background other than white. And if you drag it in and let it resize, it saves you a step. So you don't have to resize it. Command Option left bracket or dot 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 and position, send it to the back. Control click, right click, and layer, send to back. Command Option left bracket. And then just drop down the transparency. I think it's a little too strong. 40 or so worked, somewhere in there. Just so someone can kind of see that it's grass in the back, but not really notice. All right, so I just want to kind of, I think when you add that and everything else going on, you kind of lose these axes. So I'm going to come over to the axes and maybe make them like go to 10, 9, it's fine. And when you do that, you get a little bit different. So then you have to kind of zoom in and reposition. The bottom, I might want to go down a little. And then I really want to nail this junction right there. So, all right, so let me grab, Command Z. You might need to lock these. Once you start adding a bunch of graphics, it gets hard to kind of select. I'm going to marquee drag to select the sports balls and then use up arrow. No, it's not working. All right, so I'm going to drag up here. No, come on, marquee drag. And no, it's not letting me reposition them. Oh well, maybe I had them selected too. So yeah, no, they're not locked. Oh well, let's keep going. Let's move this down one. I can down arrow it. There we go. So like the keyboard down arrow, and then move this one into place. I kind of probably need to zoom in a bunch so I can make sure I'm getting a good thing down here. Hit down arrow, and then right one maybe. All right, now Command 0. Zoom to 100%. And there we go. That looks good for me. So I'm gonna share download and hit reply. I guess I should have done a JPEG, smaller file size, quicker upload, but PNG should work too. I didn't give it a name yet, so untitled design is my document. And then if I go back to the course, week 2, and hit reply, all will be right in the world. All right, so upload. So kind of a tedious one with all those Illustrator, vector graphics, things to worry about. But I think it's a good kind of intro to Canva and a good skill to have to be able to work with vector graphics and Illustrator. So I hope you learned something. Look forward to seeing your graphs, your pictographs with vector graphics.